Hey y'all, Sheer and I here again. As my introduction video just stated, I will be reviewing quite a few video games. I've been obsessed with video games since I was about 2, so I play them pretty much all the time. Almost all my video game reviews are going to be older reviews because I'm just now getting this started. But first up today, we have Uncharted 2. Now, what can I not say about Uncharted 2 that hasn't already been said? We already know it's one of the best-selling games of all time. We already know it's one of the best-designed games of all time. We already know it's an immersive experience that pretty much draws you in like a movie does. One of the first video games of its kind that quite a few of your friends will have no problem sitting there and watching you play without being bored. It's that good of a game that you can actually watch it as a movie or play it as a video game and still enjoy it just as much either way. I don't want to spoil anything in my reviews. I read reviews all over the place. I also don't want to give any kind of point system for my reviews, so you won't see either one of those with me. All I'm going to talk about in this game really is the first level and some multiplayer. First of all, multiplayer is still updated even to this day. When this game came out last November, I want to say. Maybe even earlier, I can't remember. I know I got it on day 1, and I know I've been obsessed with it, but I can't remember the exact release date just yet. Really, the multiplayer and the single player are two entirely different games, which is awesome. I'm just going to be bold-faced honest with you guys and say that this developer right here, Naughty Dog, is one of my favorite developers in the world, period. And now, I would say I probably have under 10 favorite video game developers. And as long as you've released a great title, you're probably on that list. But it's about consistency more so than anything. Like I started with Crash Bandicoot on the original PlayStation, and that's by far one of my favorite platform games ever. I wasn't as big a fan of Jak and Daxter, but I still enjoyed it. And Uncharted, I mean, you got Nathan Drake here, and what would we say? The way I describe him to customers, essentially, I work in retail, so I've been obsessed with video games since I was 2 years old. This is over 20 years we're talking right now. I've worked in retail for 2 years, and I've done nothing but sell video games. I sell other stuff in other departments when I have to, but primarily my focus is video games. So I will constantly ask customers what they like or don't like about a specific game that they're playing, always looking for feedback. Apologize for the lighting. I see it's all over the place. I'm doing this on a friend's webcam. I don't have my own setup. Nathan Drake is essentially a cross between Indiana Jones and John McClane. That's the best way I can describe it. By far one of the best games I've ever played in my life, and I've played thousands, literally thousands of video games. Just absolutely everything about this game. I mean, if you want me to go in detail, essentially, from the very beginning of the game, you are thrown into a life or death scenario, and it's a tutorial, just like any other game is. However, what's different about this particular tutorial is you actually feel involved as a part of the game. You don't feel as if you're being spoon-fed instructions. The instructions just happen to be there so you have a chance to survive. The lighting, all of the dynamic lighting, the polygon count is off the charts. All of the facial textures and all the characters, the plot, the story, the development of events. Every area looks different from the one before it. There's no areas that look identical to the area previous. And that's something very rare in video games. A lot of video games use a specific template and go based off of that for their whole game, just changing up a little bit of scenery here and there. Not Uncharted 2. You start out in a very snowy area with snow all over the place, and you can see your footsteps crunching in the snow. The sound effects match. One thing great about this game that I notice in a lot of video games that a lot of reviewers never even mention, the dialogue matches what everybody's saying. Everything everybody says matches their lips, and that's awesome because it's very rare that the actual footage is filmed as developed at the same time as the voice actors are actually, syncing with the dub for the voices. And it's by far one of the most amazing games I've ever played in my life. I know I'm being repetitive here. This is my first video game review I've ever done, so bear with me. But and again, no editing. If it was edited, it all stream nice and concise, but Multiplayer is one of my favorite multiplayer games ever, and it really is its own game. I have gotten all of the map updates and everything, and I'm not the best Uncharted player out there. I've never claimed to be like the best gamer. I love video games to death, always have, but I've never been like super pro at any one specific game. I personally prefer team-based type stuff, and with the addition to Siege mode fairly recently, and several other